Hey, 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 it is an unstoppable day. It's your boy, Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge, welcoming you to another episode of the Unstoppable Story Show, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. We are here with a special edition of the Unstoppable Story Show. Y'all, it is the 21 Days of Gratitude. 21 Days of Gratitude leading up to the Thanksgiving holiday, where we want to give you the opportunity to take a second and focus on the things that you're grateful for. You know, we're living in this world of where everything is up in chaos and everything is out of sorts and everybody's feeling a certain type of way about the things that are going wrong. Well, here at the Unstoppable Story Show, we want you to focus more on the things that you're grateful for and less on the things that you have to complain about. You know, they say if you do anything for 21 days in a row, it's got a strong sense of becoming a habit. So these 21 days of gratitude, we're hoping that you'll take a second, a minute, even an hour out of these days, each one of these 21 days, so that it won't just be a thought. It won't just be happenstance. It'll become a habit that you'll carry on for the rest of your life. Yes, we're helping you have an attitude of gratitude on the Unstoppable Story Show. And over these 21 days, we'll have thoughts from myself, what I'm grateful for, but we'll also have special guests on the episodes telling you what they're grateful for. And tonight is no different. You know, I've been talking to you about some of the grateful people that I've had the opportunity to meet this year. You know, sometimes you're grateful for the people that you meet early on in life. Sometimes you're grateful for the people you've met later in your life. Sometimes you're grateful for the people that you just met this year, this month. And our next guest, I had the opportunity of meeting over the summer while I was at a networking event here in South Florida. And you know, her essence, her aura, her being just took over the room, and she was an enlightening force to everybody that she came in contact with. She has this divine electricity, this divine ambience that just radiates in the room. And you know how it is when you meet a person and when they walk in the room, the whole atmosphere just changes and you want to spend time with them and want to really get to know them. Well, this lady that we are about to introduce you today, she's one of those women. And I trust and believe if you stick and stay all the way to the end of the show, you're going to be grateful that you met her too. She goes by the name of Tasha Salinas, and she is known as the emotional embodiment coach. Welcome her to the Unstoppable Story Show. Hey, Tasha.
Thank you so much, Terrence. What a great introduction. I'm very honored to be here tonight.
Well, we are very honored to have you here. So, you know, as much as you are grateful for that introduction, I believe that nobody can introduce themselves as well as they do. So why don't you take about 30 seconds and introduce yourself to the Unstoppable Stories family?
Well, hello, family. It's nice to meet you. My name is Tasha Salinas, and I actually am the visionary and CEO to my brand new company, Divine Wellness. And what that is my opportunity to express my enlightenment to the world and to partner with people one on one to be able to find their inner voice and access their inner peace. A little bit of how I got here is basically my whole world came crashing down about 4 or 5 years ago, and from that, now I know that that was just a catalytic moment for me of multiple spiritual awakenings that brought me to where I'm at today. And that uncovered my huge love of emotions and what they really are inside of our body and what do we do with them. And in doing so and diving into myself and learning more and more about myself, I've actually found what I believe to be the secret of life, the secret to joy, the secret to gratitude for our beingness. So I'm happy to be here.
Wow. No, no, no. We just can't let you slide back by with the secret of life and not
Yeah.
let that just blow with the wind. So,
Yeah.
Tasha, what
Yes, sir.
is the secret to life, huh?
What is the secret to life, Terrence? Isn't it joy? Couldn't it be joy? I mean, it's so broad, but honestly, like if we're wondering why we're here in existence, it's survival maybe. But once you drop the fear of death, or drop the pace of survival, all we have left is being and presence. And that's where we can tap into joy. So that's kind of what I feel to be the secret of life, is ultimately unlearning what's not us and stop reacting to our environment and actually take sovereign control of our experience. And yeah, I think that's the secret.
I love it. And you know what? One thing I told Tasha this before. One thing I love about her is she brings out some words that make you think on a whole different level. But you know, sometimes
Mm,
the simplest words are the words that make the biggest impact. So
mm,
when you think about the secret of life could just be joy,
mhm.
that's so powerful. It is very powerful. And when you said joy, I thought of fulfillment because, you know,
Yeah.
fulfillment, being fulfilled brings me joy. Knowing
Mm,
that at the end of the day, I gave my all to whatever it was I was doing, and it was something
absolutely.
that filled my cup up as well as I was giving
Mhm,
out to somebody else. So
mhm.
I love that. So we're going to
Yeah,
ponder that throughout the rest of the show. The
for
secret of
sure.
life,
The secret
joy.
I don't know if it's a secret anymore. Secret's out, right?
Ah, well, you know, the beautiful thing about it is that when you think about the secret of life, it means something different to
Yeah,
everybody. So
agreed.
just like you said joy, I said fulfillment. Somebody else
Mhm,
who's watching this show live or who's going to be watching it on the replay probably will
mm,
come up with another word. They'll probably come up with
yeah,
a whole adjective just because
mhm,
you sparked the conversation about the
mm.
secret of life.
I
So
love that.
thank you. Is
Beautiful.
that what you do as an emotional embodiment coach? You come up with those words and those thoughts, those ideals that have a that generate an emotional response?
I love the question, and to answer that, I actually have to say yes and no. So, as an emotional embodiment coach, what I get to do is actually just partner with people who seem to be struggling and just want to access that sense of inner freedom, inner satiation, or joy, or whatever it is that, like to your point, whatever it is that they feel they might be lacking. I partner with people in conversation. And so, in my journey of learning who I am very intellectual, extremely intellectual. I am a hoarder of information. I consume books like they're Skittles. You
Candy.
know, I just, yes, I just take in books. But then I'm also insatiably curious as far as interpersonal dynamics and relationship. And so combining that together and learning who I am, I first had to learn who I am. And in doing so, I really unlocked a lot of my spiritual gifts. So I have a lot of the intellectual education and experience in my traditional 9 to 5 vocation that I once was part of, like the workforce. But now that I'm on my own with my own company, I get to incorporate a lot of the more spiritual aspects of it, and not necessarily religious, but that the essence, the emotions, which is essentially the energy in motion. So combining the intellect, the intelligence, and the emotions, the heart, the emotional intelligence is unlocked in conversation. So that's my gift. I'm also a spiritual channel, and so I'm able to actually channel higher wisdom and knowledge and information through my voice and through the words that I use. And so it's not necessarily that I choose the words, but as I remain centered in myself and in my knowing and trust of my gifts, then I understand that whoever hears whatever I say, it'll hit them exactly how it's supposed to. So it's kind of weird to say what I do because every single conversation is different. Every single stage is different. Every single podcast, TV show, interview that I'm blessed to be able to do is so different because the needs of that current present moment are different in each moment. So I know that's a really broad answer, but that's the only way I can explain what I do in essence of emotional embodiment and how I help people to turn inward themselves.
I love it. The word that came to mind through your explanation was conduit.
Ooh,
You're a conduit for things that coming through you
yes, sir.
that you can send out to others. You know, in
Mm,
my practice as an accountability life coach, I things are downloaded into me so that I can upload them into my clients. So I
mm,
say it's not me. I'm just the connection. I'm just the
yes, sir.
pass through. And that's what I hear with you. You are the conduit for the spirit to come in to be sent
Yeah.
channeled through you to through the
Mhm,
clients that you're working with. And I'm sure they're grateful for the information that flows through you into their hearts, into their minds, into
mhm,
their emotions. which leads us into our conversation for the night because we're talking about gratitude. So let me ask you, Tasha, what's one thing you're grateful for today?
Yeah, I love the segue. Thank you for asking the question. What I'm grateful for is the fact that am experiencing and living what I believe to be enlightenment. Like right now, yes, the being an enlightened being on this earth. And that is such a catalytic phrase that has a lot of people like double take, like, who, what? Who does she think she is? And so, what I'm grateful for is that I get to experience life beyond what I think is possible. So I can stop thinking and stop efforting. And I'm so thankful that I just get to be who I am and experience. And my education, but then also my experience lets me know that our brain is just a tool that's created to help solve a problem, right? 1 + 1 = 2. It's very logical. We understand that. But when we get to really tap into our emotions and our intuitive side, and this is where I get excited, is because 1 + 1 can also be 11, just based on
Yes,
how you approach those
yes.
numbers, that data. So I'm thankful for the fact that there's a whole world outside of logical thinking. And so I'm so blessed and grateful to be able to sit in that space because most people in Western society here in America have been conditioned to use only our logical brain. If it doesn't make sense, it's not worth much. Well, just a couple hundred years ago, they used to burn people like me at the stake, right? If I talked about I could read energy in terms of emotion, which is simply, once again, energy and motion, I'm very
Hmm.
thankful that I've been able to synthesize the information that I've gotten in a way that's relatable and fun and actually, dare I say, attractive, because living beyond what you think and really just living into your feelings and your body, becoming sensual, not sexual necessarily. I mean, you can, but getting back, getting back into our senses, getting back into our body, it is it's a sensory experience. And I can't not be grateful because when you let go of the fears, because fears are just conjured up in your brain, you let go of the fear, then you feel that same energy running through your body and you can reinterpret it to be excitement or to be curiosity or to be whatever it is, whatever you need in that moment. You have the freedom. I have the freedom to be able to choose how I experience any right now moment. No thinking required.
So let me ask you this, because I know words matter.
Yes,
But when
sir.
we think about being grateful for the capacity to experience life beyond
Yeah.
what you thought was possible, what did you think was possible?
Oh my gosh. Terrence, I was married for about 20 years. And at that time, and it was a fine marriage. It was okay. It was healthy-ish. But I thought that was it. I thought I had reached the pinnacle of my life. I was roughly, let's say 30, 38, 39 years old. I had 3 kids. My husband at the time was taking care of me. And I was like, this is a very satisfactory life. I feel very okay. And it
Hmm.
wasn't enough. And so it's almost as if the world, the universe, God maybe, knew that I was due for a shakeup. So I didn't know to think higher than where I was. I had to actually be scared. I had to have the crap scared out of me,
Mm.
to really release the thoughts. Because at that time, when I was thinking, only thoughts I could conjure up were fearful and I'm not enough and why something's wrong with me. I'm broken. And all of these fears were coming up to be alchemized by love. So once again, to answer your question, I didn't know to think that life could be as good as it is right now. And that's honestly like where my gratitude comes from, is because every day I'm continuously surprised by how good life is. And that's even in the, dare I say, shitty moments. Like I'm still feeling like when I'm crumpled down on the ground in my bedroom, just really in my like yucky yuck yuck. I don't know how better to say it. There's still a shred of gratitude there, because if I don't let myself have those experiences, then I will never know gratitude. I will never know joy if I don't allow myself to experience that darkness that comes with releasing all thought and allowing the pain just to be surfaced, to be witnessed, and then released with love.
Oh my God, you've said so much in that short stanza that you said that we could just unpack, and this would
Mm.
be a 3-hour show, and we'll touch back on some of those things. But
Yeah, yes,
the
sir.
one thing I heard from your experience, well,
Mm.
two things I heard. Number one, many times we take the light for granted
Ooh,
because we've never had to spend time in darkness. But oh,
that'll
have to
preach.
go through a dark time. Take.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can't handle a dark moment for more than 2 minutes because that's just how bad it is. But if you ever gone through a dark moment
Yeah.
and then you see the light,
Mm,
you say thank you, Jesus, because
absolutely.
you're so glad that that light has finally came, and that's what I think about when you say living, experiencing life beyond what you thought was possible. Because
Absolutely.
for some people, they think it's impossible to
Mm-hmm.
see the light because all they've
Mm-hmm.
seen in their life is the darkness. They
Right.
don't think it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
Mm-hmm.
other thing, and before I'll bring this up before we go to break,
Yeah.
is that many times you've heard me say, audience, you've definitely heard me say this, that you've got to go through in order
Yes.
to grow through.
Mm, mm, mm.
No butterfly becomes a butterfly without being a caterpillar first and
Right.
going into that cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way that you become a butterfly. You've got to go through the shitty experiences. You've got to
Yeah.
go through the times in the corner of the bedroom. You've got to go through the dark clouds in order
Mm-hmm.
to come out and be able to grow into that butterfly, into that existential person, into
Mm-hmm.
that divine person that you were
Absolutely.
created to be. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that you're having these experiences, and now you're able to share them with us here on
Mm-hmm.
the Unstoppable Story Show and with all of the clients that you're going to be
Yeah.
working with going forward. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. Can I say one thing about the butterfly and the chrysalis really quickly before
Sure.
break? When the caterpillar goes to spin, like the pod that it's going to be in before it turns into the butterfly, it
Mm-hmm.
already has everything in it to basically take itself down. So it puts itself in a tomb, so to speak, and then what changes and what catalyzes that transformation is already inside of that caterpillar. And so, in order for us to really grow, we have to face the darkness that's already in us that is threatening to and probably will cause some sort of death of ego. And that's where we get our light. And that's how we grow our wings. So, I love that
Oh
you
yeah.
brought that in here. Absolutely.
And see, we're gonna have to do a take two
I
because
know. I
now
know.
we have to talk about why people never reach their butterfly potential.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you one thing, and then we'll go to break. You only have to feel your crappy, your shitty. I'll put the mic. Your shitty. You only have to feel your shitty feelings for about 90 seconds. Feel it. You don't even have to think about it. Quit thinking. Just feel the yuck. Let yourself tremor. Go outside and scream. Scream into a pillow. 90 seconds is all it takes to recognize that you feel yucky, and then to say, "Okay, I've witnessed it, and now I get to let it go." So,
Yes.
I'm done. I could preach all
Yes.
night.
Yes, absolutely. We are hanging out with the one, the only, the emotional embodiment coach herself, Tasha Salinas, on the Unstoppable Story Show, the 21 Days of Gratitude. We're so grateful that she's here with us today. And we're going to come back and talk about what else she's grateful for. Man, if you thought the first segment was something, wait till you hear the second. But hey, you know what? Speaking of experiences, maybe you need an experience at your next corporate event. Maybe you need an MC that's going to bring the TLE to your next event. Yeah, what's the TLE? Well, it's the Terrence Leffridge experience. Bring me in for your next experience and so that you can become the best version of yourself. Go on over and we can set up a discovery call at terrenceleffridge.com. UCS Discovery Call 30 minutes, and I will give you the TLE, the experience of a lifetime to make your event not just an average event, but a great event. We're coming back with the Unstoppable Story Show in just 1 second. Stick and stay. We'll be back on the other side of the break.
name is Brenda Ringwood. I'm the founder of Becoming the Better You. And a few years ago, I hired Mr. Unstoppable, Terrence Leftridge, to come and be part of my group. I wanted him to be my MC, but he delivered more than that. Not only did he keep the crowd engaged, he knew when to bring the mood back up. He kept the program going. He was a lifesaver for me. And we've been working together ever since. I have seen him in action on many, many stages, not only as an MC, but as a speaker, as a coach, as a mentor. And let me tell you, he's the real deal. I highly recommend Terrence Leftridge for MCing, for speaking, for coaching. But let me tell you, when he steps in the room, you know you've got a winner.
And we are back. Welcome to the 21 Days of Gratitude on the Unstoppable Story Show. I'm your host, Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Leftridge, and we are hanging out with the emotional embodiment coach, Tasha Salinas from Divine Wellness, LLC. Thanks, Tasha, for continuing to hang out with us. How's it going so far?
It's going so well. And I just want to say, I mean, I didn't give you your flowers, but I'm going to take a moment in your show just to let you know how much you mean to me. Like you mentioned at the intro, we met in Florida a couple months ago. And from the start, I felt like I knew you. You know what I mean? You immediately embraced me, Terrence. And so when you were sharing this show or this series for your 21 Days of Gratitude, I couldn't help but jump in. And so I just wanted to honor you and thank you so much for this opportunity. And also from one speaker to another, I'm so proud of the work you do and how you help people to really just be their best selves in every sense of the word. So once again, thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'll get your address after the show. Check in the mail, because got to show my gratitude for that. But no,
if you must.
I appreciate you. Game knows game, and you know this better than anyone else, that likeness attracts likeness. And I could see the aura, I could see the authenticity when we met. And I'm a cheerleader of yours, where whatever you do along with us here at the BTBY family, or whatever you do on your own, we're definitely going to be rooting for you and rooting for the butterfly to fly as high as she could possibly fly and take some people with her.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the second thing, because the second thing is really just a carryover of the first. You are grateful for the capacity to experience life beyond what you ever thought was possible, but you're also not keeping it for yourself. You said you're grateful for sharing this gift of life with others. Why is this so important for you to share this beyond what you thought possible life with other people?
Why is it important? Man, it's important because it's just who I am. It's what I do. We actually met at a speaker event and speaker training event. And that's when I learned that, yes, I'm a speaker, more of like the instrument rather than by vocation. I find that when I make myself available, or allow myself to be available to any opportunity that I feel drawn toward, that it just kind of expresses out of me. And so I'm grateful for that, because that's a gift that someone magnetized to themselves. And in order to be a conduit, to use your term from earlier, but in order to be able to be that, it is the most humbling and honoring thing to be used by such divine love to help others understand that they already are whole, that you are already healed, that you are divine. The only thing preventing you from actually expressing and feeling your divinity is the belief that you're not. And so I'm grateful to be able to share that as a gift. And I'm a former pastor in the Christian church. And while I don't necessarily resonate strongly with just the Christian ideology, I still hold very tightly to the framework of Christianity, in that, like, God is in us and that Jesus came to show us the way and actually be the example. And he talked about the I am, being the I am to himself, and then also to God, about God. And so for me to be able to convey that same message that you are divine, and because if I'm divine and I'm 100% human, and I've been able to reconcile my humanity with my divinity, like that's the ultimate gift. So anyway, I could talk all day, preach all day about that, but ultimately that's why I'm so thankful to be able to share that gift with others, because when people have that aha moment, that hold on, salvation is just a decision, a mindset, and a belief, and trust in that belief, that liberation of heart. Like, how could I not share that? And so that's kind of why I'm so thankful to be able to share this gift, because it's the good news. It really is the
Yeah.
good news.
And I think I formed the question for this show: what am I grateful for? Not
Mm,
because the grateful is the key word, but what I've been
mm,
finding, especially this go round, because I've been doing this a couple of years now during this Thanksgiving season. What I found is that when people talk about what they're grateful for, they can't help but to go back to the great I am. We had
yes.
a guest on a couple of nights ago, and they talked about I am
Mm,
descendant, and they went through their lineage. They went all the way
mhm,
back to their great great grandmother, and they were giving homage to what the legacy of their bloodline has
yes.
done. And as a result, I am who I am because of the bloodline in front of me. And you are, I am divine because of the spiritual awakening and the awareness that you have all
Mhm,
around you. And it's amazing when you take the time to think about gratitude, it
yeah.
really helps you to think about who you are also.
Mhm,
I am grateful that
mhm,
he allows me to do the things I'm doing. I don't know
mhm,
anything about this internet thing, but he's put the tips and strategies in front of me so that I am able to do things like this. I'm able to have people like you on the
mhm,
show talking about things that the audience probably wouldn't hear about
right.
unless something like this happened. So I'm glad
Mhm,
that I'm able to bring
mhm,
this to the world in just from the comfort of my home and the comfort of your home, but we're gonna reach
absolutely.
hundreds, thousands, millions, billions as a
Mhm,
result of just talking about something simple as gratitude and spiritual awakening. So I'm
yeah.
glad that you are willing,
Mhm.
not only willing, but grateful that you're able to share this gift of life with others.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not just like you and I would be able to talk about this for 3, 4 hours just tonight. I'm sure there's someone who's watching this live or who's going to be watching the replay that also would like to get in contact with Tasha and tap in to that emotional embodiment that you bring and that they can find for themselves. So, how can they
Mhm.
get in contact with you, Tasha?
The easiest way would be to follow the link. That's to where you'll find my card, my business card. It's a virtual card, and on there you'll see my links to TikTok or to YouTube or Facebook. And those are if you just kind of want to spy on what I'm doing. You're going to get a different Tasha on each platform. But if you'd like to work one-on-one with me, just shoot me an email, or on that card as well, you will find my Calendly link. And I'll take a 30-minute consult free just to see if we resonate with one another, because once again, it's my joy to be able to help people. And I will say this much as far as being grateful for what we're doing. I'm going to get a little nerdy for just like 12 seconds. But
Okay.
we have mirror neurons in our brains, right? So when you yawn, I yawn. If you smile at me, I can't help but kind of smile. And the same goes energetically for embodiment, for joy. And so the fact that I know who I am and I'm resolute in my sovereignty, when we communicate just even about the weather, there's an energetic exchange there. So your mirror neurons inside will be like, hold on. You may not even consciously have the thought, but there's something in her that feels good when we connect. And so if that's something that any of your viewers or you watching right now, if you're interested in doing, let's just have a conversation to see if we resonate, to see if there's that easy energetic flow between the two of us, because ultimately it's the spiritual journey that you're not necessarily leading consciously. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. And I'm not going to say for a minute that I'm the teacher, but I do know that I'm a teacher for the right people, for the right person.
I love it. When one's energy aligns with others, energy, that's where you create synergy. So if you're looking for
Ah,
conduits to create synergy in your life, then check out Tasha Salinas, the emotional embodiment coach. Again, we're going to have you reach out to her at her card, bit.ly/Tasha's card. You know what? I just want to say this to you. Thank you, thank
mhm,
you, and thank you. Thank you for being a guest on the show. Thank you for doing what you do. But more
mhm.
importantly, thank you, Tasha, for being who you are.
Wow.
There's
Thank
nobody else like you. And even in the short amount of time I've known you, I can truly say there's nobody else like you. And that's a good thing. And
you.
we are grateful for you for sharing your experience and grateful that you're willing to share your experiences with others. Would you come back on the show sometime?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us. That is a wrap, family. Thank you so much for being here for the 21 days of gratitude on the Unstoppable Story Show. But guess what? We've still got some few more days to go up till Thanksgiving, and there's still an opportunity for you to share your gratitude story on the Unstoppable Story Show. Shoot me a paragraph to my email address, tleffridge at unstoppablecoaching.com. And who knows, you may be the next guest on the Unstoppable Story Show, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. And in parting, as I always say, no matter where you are in the world today, you know what I say? Don't just make it a great day, but have an attitude of gratitude and make it an unstoppable day. We'll see you real soon.